Hi, Bill.
Hi, everybody. All right, this is the Board of Finance Special Budget Workshop meeting, April 2nd, 2026. It's 7:04. We're going to get started. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United
Right.
States of
This is
America
America,
and to the
to the
republic for which it
republic which
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation, under
nation,
God,
God,
indivisible,
well,
with liberty and justice for
just
all.
for all.
Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. So we were just chatting. We have most of our board. We are missing Nick for the moment. He's going to try to log in, but he's got spotty Wi-Fi out on in California or wherever he's at. So
Do we have
if we get
Liz?
him, great. If we don't, we don't.
Oh, there's Liz. Okay.
Yeah, Liz is here. We've got Liz, we've got Kim, we've got Louise, right? Yep. We've got Heather's
Heather.
here. Yep. You're muted, Liz. Okay. So I think one of the things we want to accomplish tonight is to go through the budget one more time, make sure our effects and figures are correct, make sure we've got the right numbers that are feeding into our presentation and our overall in our tax rate calculation and everything like that. And one of the issues I know Bill and you and I had talked about, we raised it a little bit last night, I think, was the overtime, the public works overtime thing.
Hmm.
And we had kind of delegated you to ask about that, get some more information and come back on it. Um, do we want to start there, maybe?
Sure. Again, I don't know if anybody else remembers or found anything in your notes. I think Kimberly said you were to look at your.
Actually, shouldn't we start with public speak? That's what the
Oh,
agenda's.
I'm terribly sorry. You're correct. I'm terribly sorry. I got the recording thing at least. All right, we'll go around. So, well, Lisa's our treasurer, but Lisa, if you've got anything to say,
No,
now's your
I'm good.
time. Okay, very good. Uh, Chris Nye, public speak.
You have to unmute yourself, Chris, if you're.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Carol. Okay, I'll come back to you. Joanne.
Real quick, thank you, everyone. Just, hoping that tonight you're able to tighten up the expenses a little bit here and there. Every little bit counts. I know that tonight's important. I wanted to point out, I know that everyone's been afraid to make, I've made it no secret that I think this budget is a little bit too high, to pass in the town. And so hoping it can be tightened up. Want to also remember that all the years that I can remember, there's always been a contingency, which we've never dipped into. There's been a surplus return to the town every year. So, I mean, we've been over budgeted. So what I'm saying is to the nervous part, there's if for say one or two lines you gamble on and it ends up needing a little bit more money, I think there'll be money to transfer in. So to keep a budget so high is kind of, I don't think worth doing that. I'm hoping you can cut some more. I also wanted to, apologize. I had the town clerk, assistant town clerk. I sent an email earlier today correcting myself. That had taken on, some significant raises in the past. So it looked, in the past year. So it looked high. Apologies out there to that person. I wasn't trying to, I just wanted the figures to be right. I'd also like you to look into the town planner. Sorry that I'm bringing all this up, but I know this might be your last time or whatever you can find out. That was never really an employee in the past. That was a service. So I feel like, it got an automatic 3% raise there. I don't know if that's needed. I know the gentleman that performs those services was great. He comes to some town meetings. He presents like the affordable housing plan, the POCD plan. And I don't know if it's the same person that's going to get that raise, which amounts now to 49,444 from 48,000. So I hope that's solidified with a contract or whatever. I don't really think it's a town employee. I could be wrong. And then just to remember that I think our town charter has changed so that whatever you all decide on and bring to the town meeting. It's a courtesy. You'll do your presentation, people can make motions there to decrease. But then this is going, whatever you decide on is going to a referendum. I don't think we vote anymore as a town whether to accept your final thing. I think it's kind of, and apologize, I'm coming down with something, but I think it's kind of a formality. So it's really important that you do your due diligence on whatever cuts you think you wanted to make, because I don't think it's coming back to you after that town meeting. It's going straight to referendum. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Joanne. Uh, let's see. Marcy?
Hi, I just wanted to comment on the town planner. I really hope you don't touch that because our town has been falling behind all the other towns around, and we really finally feel like we're kind of trying to get somewhere with planning for our town for the future. And there's a lot of value for the town planner, so please don't touch him. All right, thank you. Bye.
Okay, I'll circle back to a couple of the people who had called on before. Oh, actually, wait, Scott Sayette.
Hey, I just wanted to get on and say, I hope you don't reduce the school budget. It is, I know it sounds high, but looking at what they've done for the last decade, and they are not too high. And I looked at the lawyers' letters, the dueling letters, and one of them is very clear and very straightforward and very easy to read and very understandable. And the other one is parsing the words about um, in all sorts of things. I'm forgetting the word here. Recommendation, trying to parse that into meaning something very different. So I just want to say, I think this board needs to be very careful about that. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. All right. Wait a minute. Did we lose some people?
We have Valerie also.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to Val. I see.
Okay.
I was sorry. I was looking. Did we lose Carol? I think we did.
I see Alicia Lee.
Yeah, Alicia Lee just joined. Valerie, do you have public comment for us before we start?
Hi, thanks. I just was going to echo the same sentiments that Scott said. You did a great presentation last night. You brought a lot of things to light. I think it's also, definitely worth us noting that we have a budget for the whole town to consider, both sides there. And we had a lot of years of loss that we need to try to recoup a little bit of now. So thank you.
Okay, Alicia.
I just wanted to say I appreciate all your guys' hard work, and I also support the school budget. And with needing the extra sixth grade teacher, I feel like it's really important. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. I think we lost a couple people. Maybe they'll come back, but there's another round of public speak at the end, so I guess if there's no one else, hearing none, we'll proceed. So, thanks for reminding me, Louise, to do that. All right, back to going through the budget. I thought we'd just get the Public Works thing out of the way, and then we can maybe circle back and look at everything else.
Are you to bring it up and share it?
Yeah, 1 second. Hang on a second. I want to find it. There it is. There it is. Okay, I don't know why it's being so difficult. There we go.
Is this the overtime question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about it last night, but I just wanted to make sure we were done.
And Kim, I think you said you might have had notes that you were to check. I don't know if you did or not. You're muted, Kim.
Sorry about that, Bill. I did not find my notes on this. I'm sorry. I did check.
Okay.
But I am pretty sure that we decided this because we looked at the actual expenditures
Yeah.
and agreed on, it was a minimal deduction. I mean, it's not a high amount anyway.
We also, I think we compared this to the overtime for the snow removal. There's two different spots. I'm
Yeah.
thinking it through. And we felt like we could reduce the upper line because that's a significant line item, if I remember correctly. I'm just thinking,
Yeah, I mean
I
the
think
thing
so
is
too.
we know we're over this year on snow removal OT. That number, budgeted number is up. I think it's just
right.
up 3%.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know if this is the end of the world one way or the other, but I thought I'd raise it. We cut a request for 13.5 down to 5.
Correct.
If we're comfortable with that, I don't have a huge problem with it, but the explanation we got from Public Works, remind me, Bill, again, was
Just they a lot of times get called out, and a perfect example came up 2 weeks ago where a tree fell across their road on a Saturday, and it ended up having a large tree. Two workers had to come out on a Saturday, got overtime for that. They were up there for a couple hours, and then he talks about how that happens quite a bit. I know on Bear Swamp, it seems to happen at least twice a year where we get a large tree that falls across the street. I don't know where else it happens. And then whenever there's construction work where we hire an outside contractor, we have people on site the whole time. So if you have a contract that works to 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll have road crew there the whole time. They don't go home at the normal time, I guess. So that's where some of the overtime comes in as well. And I forget some of the other things he talked about, but he did mention quite a few things where overtime outside of snow overtime is there. So I don't know why it's such a big increase this year from, looks like 3,500 on average, 3,000, 3,500 up to 13,500, but we did look at it and cut it to 5. I don't know if we cut it too much or not, or if that's a good number.
Do you want
Yeah.
to raise it up to 6?
Can I
I actually had the
interject?
exact number in
Closer?
my head. Yeah, I had 6 in my head. I was just thinking maybe just go to 6.
Why don't, I mean, if it has to, they need money for overtime, we're gonna figure it out, right? I
Find
mean,
it. Yeah.
Well,
So I'll
yeah,
make a
my
motion.
thought is like we're looking at the previous year's history.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's really the jump was pretty high in what he's asking for. I think if
Mhm.
there's something that happens, there's
It-
other money if a transfer needs to be made.
If I can interject, I think we
Yes.
also went back and a high amount was budgeted for the other years and we never used it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm looking now, but it's like it wasn't a big jump from 24 to 25. Actual was very low, but I think we asked for about the same amount those other 2 years and we never used it. I think. I mean,
Yeah.
that's my memory. So that's why I thought everybody decided to
Yeah.
just bring it down.
it sounds right.
I say we leave it.
Okay. I'm good with
That's
leaving
just,
Yeah, I
just
don't have a problem with it. I just wanted to talk it out.
yeah, I think adding another 1,000, I mean, really,
And
if he gets,
the
if he gets
point
that
about
close,
contingency is also correct. We basically never
yeah,
touched that.
yeah,
Notwithstanding, I believe
The
we
little
used
thing.
2,000 of it this year, but
yep.
So in
um,
case that we actually do need to go over that, where would we pull that from?
well, if assuming there's no within the same general part of the budget, like Public Works, assuming there's nothing under expended that they can do a transfer,
Okay,
then we would probably pull from contingency.
Yeah.
okay, that's what I thought.
So the only other
But I
number,
know in the past we've had within a department lines that are over and lines that are under,
yeah,
and you're allowed to
move it around.
move it around.
Yeah.
The only other one I looked at was the large increase on the meals for voter registration times. And she had a pretty good explanation. It was a large increase, but she had a pretty good explanation again, because we have a Democratic and Republican caucus this year, as well as the election. And because of early voting and mailing ballots, there's a lot more people and a lot more hours being worked. And that's why they increased the meals line there so much. That's the explanation I got anyways.
Yeah, we've expanded the
Yep.
voting. Where is that? I must have scrolled past. There it is. The assessor registers elections. It's the meals here.
Yeah.
It's $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a high
Yeah, it was a
percentage,
couple-
but
Yeah, it went from $500, it looks like,
Right.
up to 3,000. So,
Oh, that's true. If you look at actuals, you're right.
yeah.
Well, we'll see how that goes, and if
Again,
it's
it's
too much, we can
$1,000,
reduce
so.
it next year. But it's $1,000.
Yeah.
I had something I wanted to look at too.
Okay, we're going up
Um,
to the top just so that we can. This is all revenue. There we go.
I was concerned, and actually,
This is wrong now, but all right.
this was looking into this was based on an email that we received. I was a little concerned about the drivers/dispatch salary. I know we talked about this, and the budgeted amount is 46,680.
Which line are we on?
I'm sorry, 143, 100.
Do you know what Excel number that is, or?
Oh, 36.
Oh, way up top. Okay.
Oh, way up top. Hold on. I went past it.
There we go.
Wait, 36.
It's 36. I mean, in the budget, I'm looking at the board budget.
Ugh.
preliminary.
This is weird.
So- Oh,
Okay.
you know what? I'm sorry. This is preliminary salaries.
Over here, you mean this one?
The preliminary salaries
Got it.
tab.
It's a tab. Yeah, it's another tab. It's the third
Yep.
tab.
Yep.
Yep.
So I don't have this written down, but the email reminded me that I think we talked about the dispatcher. So right now it's what's her name? The registrar, Democratic registrar. Linda
Derrick.
Linda. Yes, Linda Derrick. I believe they talked about paying her for 10 hours a week still at $20 an hour to remain being the dispatcher. Is that true?
No, Kim is now doing that. Linda's no longer
Oh.
doing that.
Oh, Kim is Kim getting paid to do it?
Yes,
She's getting paid to do it.
yes.
Okay, so she's getting paid 10 hours a week at $20 an hour to do that, right?
That's right.
Okay, so that being the case, if you the drivers' salaries, that is all we have here. This 46,680, if you look at this is about a 3% increase, and that 3% is reflective of the 4 drivers only. So another 10,400 would need to be added to that, unless
What,
she's
I think that was in the community, the senior community center
I
information.
looked for that there.
You
Yeah.
did,
So
I think we
If
found
you-
it down there.
yeah. Where was
did
that?
we? So if you scroll up in this tab,
All right, in this tab. Yep.
yep,
And there's
what did I say?
Now, this is-
10,000,
Yeah, not that one.
10,000, should be 10,400. Are we seeing that anywhere? I just don't want to leave anybody off.
Yeah.
That's all.
I do not. I'm going to go back to the other tab for a second.
I don't see it either.
So I see the community center assistant. I see that.
Right there.
Jesus, director, assistant, conference. Yeah, there's no line here under the community center on the main chart for
Hmm.
drivers.
I thought she talked about it, but I can't remember
Right.
where.
So last year, I went into last year's budget and looked under the employee tab, and I could see the 4 employees and their salaries, through all the columns, and that's how I was at least able to verify that, the 3% is correct. The 46,680 is close to correct. Yeah, it's close. And that tracks through from last year, but I don't see where the dispatcher is included in here. And I think it's supposed to be included on this line, the way it's written, drivers / dispatch salary. I
Yeah.
think they were supposed to be clumped together. Oh, wait a minute. Here's another tab, employee. Oh, no, I put that one in there. Never mind.
So that, it was a large jump though from 33 to 45, from 24, 25 to 25, 26. It's not included in that? I wasn't here then, so I don't know, but the actual
That
spend
was,
in 24, 25 was only 33, and the budget last year was 45.
Right. I see that.
So I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know why the actuals would have been low, 24, 25. I know we have 4
But that's what I'm
drivers
saying.
unless,
Maybe
Maybe
that
it's in there.
33 didn't include the dispatch. In previous years, dispatch was somewhere else, but they added it in 25, 26 to make that come up to 45. I don't know.
Liz, how much would
Well,
that be? The hours times the dollars? How much would that be a year?
for what, the dispatcher or for
Yeah. The new line that you're
It's about
saying.
10 grand.
10,400.
It'd be 10,400.
So it looks like it might have just been added to that line, 143, 100. Maybe.
But if
Added
Liz
to
is
what line?
saying the only problem with that, because like it would make sense, except Liz is saying she verified the driver salaries from last year, right?
Yep. So the driver salaries last year were for 24, 25 were $44,000. And the 20, so if
The
you
budgeted
add
figure, the budgeted figure.
the budgeted for 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4 drivers. It's possible that maybe they didn't drive as much because they're hourly. They drive as needed, as the people need. That could be why it came in lower. But if you take, actually, I take that.
So,
Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. The proposed last year was 45,320.
Which
Right.
is, yep, it's in here.
Yeah.
45,320. And if you take that and you add 3% to that, you get the 46,780.
I got an email from Joanne that said
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Joanne
Yeah.
said that it was added to the community center assistant line. If you go
It was
back up
added to the
community
community center assistant line.
assistant line is what Joanne's saying.
Guys, can I
This
speak
year or
real
last
quick?
year?
Why would we put it there?
Yeah,
There
that
was 2 positions put in that line.
We
That's why I sent the
collapsed
email.
something, I think. Because look at the difference.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
32,000 versus 10,000.
Now I want to look at my notes from when I talked to Tess.
community center assistant.
No, I thought you guys raised the
is-
community center assistant because you wanted more hours for a real assistant,
Yeah,
not
I
someone
thought
that
so
was just
too.
part-time. I don't think that had to do with the driver.
That's what I thought too, Lisa.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that's driver related.
Or dispatch related.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys, I'm
dispatch
gonna
related.
pop out, but if you read my email that I sent earlier, it gave you the figures that I heard them talk in the meeting. There's 2 positions. Now there's 3 people that are gonna work at the community center.
Right, and
I-
that's why I brought this up.
Thank you, right. And so you have the director at her new contract that they signed. Then you have the person doing transportation, $20 an hour, 10 hours. And then they decided on $25 an hour times 15 hours for an assistant. I think if you add all of those up, you'll come to
Oh,
that
that's not-
325.
And that would be 19.5. Okay, so 19.5 plus, that would be 29.90 would be
Right. I didn't put, yep. Thank you.
29,900. Okay, and so in the community center assistant, what's the total there?
32.5.
32.5.
It kind of makes sense. with
Okay.
the-
Yeah,
with
Oh,
the
that's
so
what
budget.
maybe
I'm
That
seeing
makes
okay.
sense.
Okay, I guess that makes sense then.
Can we add that
299.
to the notes that's the
Yes,
dispatcher, please?
yep, yes. Thank you, Joanne.
No problem.
I was looking at the reverse. I
So
was
you
going down
want a
and saying,
memo over to the side?
yeah, to the
Yeah,
right, that
just
it
put it in the
includes
memo.
includes dispatcher. Dispatcher at 10,400 and AD at 19,500, although it's,
It's still 29,990 or something like that. It's a little,
yeah,
but that's okay.
2990.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I at least on my chart, but Lisa's got the one that matters.
Yeah, I put it includes dispatcher.
Okay,
I
great.
added that for you. Although I don't
Maybe
remember that, but
But the math works.
The math works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Works.
yep.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
catch.
There you go. Good catch all around.
Takes a village.
Okay.
Rob, do we have any more word on how we're going to handle the RAM?
I sent you guys right when I got home. I saw an email that went around to the board chairs and people in the towns, and I forwarded it to you guys right at 6 o'clock.
I didn't
It's
get
a
it.
memo. It talks about how it's honestly, I'm a little confused. First, they did what the Hebron board chair had asked them to do, which is calculate interest. So the number's a little different now. I think we're getting 258 and change instead of 255. I'm still not 100% clear how they're planning to handle this. They say they're going to do an offset. They're going to take it off our levy, but how they're handling it, literally for the purposes of the referendum, is still a little unclear to me. They have a meeting Monday night they've put together at 6:30. I would suggest any of us who can make that try.
When did you say Monday at 6:30?
Monday at 6:30. The link is in. There's a link to a Zoom.
Yep.
I will try to make it, but I'll be late. I have my kids that night. I don't get home till 6:45. So, anybody who can make it and kind of ask my question, the question I was trying to get at is, what number are they going to show when the people go to vote? I understand that we're going to get money back, and I trust that that'll happen. What I want to know is, because I don't think it should be netted out on the ballot.
I don't either.
No, neither.
Valerie did just forward. I don't know if she sent it to everybody, but I just got the levy sheet from Valerie.
Yeah, I forwarded it too. Didn't you get? Okay.
I got it too.
I got it.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we still reduce it?
I think we should just reduce that line item by that amount.
With a
For
note
the-
next to it.
So
Say-
what I would say, guys, is that on the chart that we recalculate the taxation level.
Mhm.
So am I sharing this? Can you seeing it? Did I
Yeah.
switch charts? Okay.
Yeah.
So this year, obviously this number is now wrong, and this whole line needs to get changed because they changed their levy too. But see, like there's an extra line under here. What I would do personally is I'd put it, equals this minus, and
I don't
it's
think you're sharing.
258.
I don't think you're sharing it, Rob.
All right, I think I'm sharing. I know what I did. I'm going to fix the screen share. Give me a second. I know I did wrong. I shared a document instead of a screen. Okay, so this document, which I've been playing around with this, so don't take this document as gospel at all. Do you see it? This is where we calculate, tax increase. This number, I haven't put the RAM offset in. This is why it's still showing a 9.35, and this number here, this is the levy number that used to be, but they've adjusted it again. But what I was saying is, I want to show their true number, which isn't this anymore. It's like 4.1, et cetera, et cetera. And then I want to take,
Actually, it's more than that. Because you're forgetting you gotta add that capital in there, so it's really 4,258,178.
wait.
So
hang on
remember
a
you
minute. I
you
was
gotta
just
add the
looking at
63,000 capital that they added. That's what you added to come to that 42. So you're talking
on.
about, if I'm looking at this right,
Hang
it was
on.
4,194,928.
So it's, oh, yeah. So it's,
But you gotta
you're
add that
right. You have to
capital
add the
back to it.
63,250.
Yeah. Which
So
I
what's the
believe is
number?
4,258,178.
4,194,928. So you're right. You're correct. Of course you are.
No,
So this one is actually 4,258,178. And then,
Yeah.
okay. And then what I would do is say, equals this minus, where's the memo? 258, 876.15. 258, 876.15. Right? And we tax based off this number here. So this number, I'd have to make sure this propagates down. It doesn't right now. This just looks back up here.
Wait, I'm confused. I'm
Yep.
confused. Can you go back there? Why are we taxing at 399? You just town
So
budget
this
includes capital.
here is I just thought I put in the full RAM levy is this. 4,258,178, right?
That's the new levy that they
Mhm.
just told us? Okay.
Yeah, if you look at this is the chart they just sent around.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys can see this very well. Here, let me.
Yep. That's okay. I can.
Okay. So if you look at Andover, proposed 2627, you've got this number here, but there's
Yep.
also the capital number here.
Capital
You
there.
tally
Okay.
that and that. I don't like
Well-
that they never tally it.
Well, the thing is too, is that's only like $5,000. They changed their tuition amount also. If you look up top, their tuition amount changed. So I guess I don't understand what $5,000 has to do with a $250,000 change.
No. I'm talking about the offset that we're getting back down here.
Yeah,
So I'm saying, all right, if this is the levy, this plus this,
yeah.
that's the levy. Okay, so back to the right track. So this number here
Mm-hmm.
is now the levy. This is the two added up, right? 4,258,178. You agree?
Yes, yep. It just
Okay.
doesn't have anything to do with this new thing that they found though, because it's not very much money. It's like $5,000. It's not anything to do with this problem that they have, is it? Because that's just a change of $5,000.
Right. That's
Okay.
That's a separate thing. They
Separate
adjusted
change.
the levy.
Okay, so they're still changing their
There's
figures.
two things going on here. They adjusted
Okay.
their levy slightly,
Okay.
and they adjusted our offset slightly to calculate some interest payments. So this number here is when I net out their levy number and then the money we're getting back. I don't care how we do it and how we display it per se, if people want to do it differently. My point is it's this number here, this 3,999,301.85 is the net between the levy that they want from us this year and the money they owe us.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep.
The question is, that's the net, right?
That's the net. I don't want this on the ballot. I want this on the ballot.
Right.
Right,
Correct.
but this is the number we should tax off of. That's what I'm saying.
We should tax on the 4,258,000.
I don't think so. No, I think we should account for the offset figure coming in. What would you do?
Well,
Just,
I think
what's
we
the
should
alternative?
show the true cost to the town.
Right.
True cost.
Which
I mean,
is
the
why
money
I
that we
want-
get back.
Yeah. I want this in the
right?
budget for sure. This here, the true cost number. Right?
Right,
then when
because
we
that's
go
going to
to-
calculate down and it's going to tell us our true total by taxation.
Right.
I mean, I'm not an accountant,
would you
so
do-
I'd
what
kind of
would
like
you do
Lynn.
with the
Lisa,
258
why
then?
do I keep wanting to call you Lynn? I think Lisa should chime in. I mean, do we take that money in? and
I'm just
put
kind of
it-
surprised that they're still making changes, this $5,000 change and the change to tuition after you've already brought this to a hearing. I'm just
know.
really surprised at that. The offset thing, I understand, is something they just found, but how many more
Right.
meetings are they gonna have changing their figure before you bring it to town meeting? It's
Well, as long
not
as it
right.
keeps going
It's
down,
just-
I'm not going to complain too much, but
Well, you don't have to master sheet that you're trying to keep track of.
Right.
And I'm not getting these emails. Rob just sent it to me. So,
Oh, jeez.
boy, you're getting kind of complicated too, because don't forget you have the two mill rates too, because of the vehicle and the other if you
Yep.
get that high.
Yeah, I understand.
We should still address that
So-
tonight.
Oh, yeah.
If we would tax on the lower amount, then
Would
does
we
that co-
reach the other, I thought that too, Heather. I'm like, well, maybe if you had,
right, you wouldn't reach the two separate, but I don't
right,
know.
right, that's what I
And
was
then, but then
thinking.
does that just cause a problem next year? Because then it looks like we have a huge increase when there's no offset.
It's going to look like a
Right.
bigger increase next year, but the point is what we're to be taxed on this year is the new lower amount. It might get us closer to that level where we don't have the two separate
The two separate,
mill rates
right.
for the autos and the houses. And then maybe we can look again at either capital expenditures or the general money that we have in the general budget, the extra money, get it down to a level where we can go to the town with one mill rate, as I think what our goal should be, not two separate mill rates. So between the reduced levy and monies that we can take from either capital and over our general money that we have the extra money in, we should be able to get us to that level.
I guess I would want to hear more about how they're gonna do this. Are they gonna send us this offset in 1 year? Because I wouldn't think we'd be able to take the whole amount off if it's gonna be a gradual thing that they're gonna return to us. That's just my thought.
That's a good point, Lisa.
It's like we know we're gonna get that, but I don't think we can take it off of the tax rate this year for all of it. If we're not gonna get it, we're gonna get it in 5 years, 1/5
They owe
every
it to us
year.
right now. They owe us the money right now. I thought the levy was going to be lowered by that much money.
Yeah, they said they're doing
Wow.
offset. Let me look
Yeah.
at the email
May I
again.
interject?
Yes,
I know I'm
Yeah.
not on the board.
Scott,
The-
you
the
are on the
plan-
board of
I'm on the RAM board, yeah. So,
Yeah, so
and
please.
the plan, as I understood it, was that it would just reduce this year's levy.
that's what I would think.
Okay.
The
Simplifies
whole
it
thing
the
was going to
most.
reduce the current year's levy to the towns.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
quite
know
sure
if it
that
does.
was the plan,
Why?
but
I
you know,
don't know if
things. Go ahead.
I don't see how it helps, because then next year our RAM levy is going to look so much higher.
Well, I would want to still display their levy as the true number
We have to show.
and have the offset as a
Right,
separate
so-
thing.
Yeah, so it won't look high.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't want to mask what,
I think
you
we're on
know,
the same
the RAM
page
budget.
there.
Right.
I just don't think we should tax based on the higher number without offset. I think we should display it though. Like, here's what it would be. We're getting this one shot repayment. It gives us a break, but it's a one shot deal.
And then next year it shows here's what this year's levy was.
This is the
next
true
year's
levy. Yeah.
Right.
So I want like a separate line that says offset or something.
Exactly. We should put
That's a
that
good
in there.
idea.
By the way, guys, to get down by really quick and dirty math here on the spreadsheet, to get down to the unified mill rate, we got to find like $560,000.
In addition to the 255, 258.
Shut my-
No, sorry. So hang on.
Total.
That's right. I didn't incorporate that.
So my point is we should be able to find
300.
that money in
300.
one mill rate.
If I'm doing the math right, it's 300 we'd need to find to get down to a unified mill rate. I mean, honestly, all right, that could be a goal. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know if that's the end all be all, but that's the number. Because if this is, and I want to verify this number is even right anymore, total be raised by taxes. Because we made some changes and I'm not sure they propagated over to this chart. This chart is a separate chart. So I'm not 100% confident in this number. So this is all a little fuzzy math, okay? But if you take the total by taxation, you take you take the not the total raised by taxation, sorry, the total grand list, and you apply the mill rate, the top mill rate you can do before splitting it, you get this much in revenue, 10,379,967.91. That would be your target for taxation if you wanted to keep one mill rate. If I'm applying the mill rate to the total grand list number that I have in here, assuming this is correct, which I believe it is. This came from Lisa.
who I haven't had a chance to update yet. So just so you know.
Okay, okay. I didn't know if that, but it's grand list. I don't know that it would change at this point,
The
right?
grand list won't change. You're correct.
That's what I'm
The grand
talking
list
about.
won't change.
The rest of it, yeah. I mean, I don't trust my to be raised by taxes number because I don't trust the total expenditure number anymore because we've been changing stuff on the other chart and it does not feed this chart. So this
Right,
number has to be
exactly.
rechecked.
Rob, do you
What
want
I
to
yeah.
do you want to add that row now so you don't forget?
Yeah, just add a row in
Just
there.
make a quick note of it now because
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
do agree with Liz that it would offset what we're seeing next year and make it look like a much bigger increase. So we just
Oh
want
yeah.
to show
And Liz and
that
I were
amount.
talking about this earlier. I completely agree. I absolutely agree. I do not want to, we can call it something like that.
yeah, that's good.
And
Then
it's
have a record of what you did.
6 RAM M net 2026 27.
Sorry, I'm desperately trying to get mine to come up, and I'm not having any luck getting it to come up.
Of course not. Of course.
Of course not.
But just conceptually, I would like it to look like something like this.
Right.
So everybody can see that
Yep.
top line number. That's their real number. That's the number that's really costing the town to make their budget work. And then this, everybody has to understand, is a one-shot deal to fix the mistake. And then, why is that? This is just, yeah, currency. Hey, no.
Why isn't this coming up?
There we go. Okay. So that way it's clearer. We can display it properly. But, I think the amount to be raised by taxation, and again, this is still, we got to double check this. That's how we get to roughly 6.8, the number we were talking about last night. For taxation this year. And then yes, you do have the issue of next year, this goes away. But as I read, my read of the email is, and again, you guys have it now too, but they're having this meeting. We can go ask questions. So Scott, if you're still there, can I ask you another quick question?
Why is this doing this?
Yes, and you can ask your question now that I can unmute.
The other thing we were talking about, the very, very small change to the levy itself.
5,000.
What was that about?
I don't know. That got sent to all the chairs and stuff, but didn't make it to us. Probably only the chair and one other board member actually know the details of that. I can see if I can find out as you guys are talking.
Wouldn't you have to vote on it to formalize?
Probably. We got a meeting on Monday though, so.
Okay. So it's provisional. Okay.
Yeah, but if we found that much money, we would. There's almost no question the board would vote on it. Would accept it.
No, I'm not even talking about the offset. I'm talking about the slight difference in the proposed levies up top.
Yeah, because it was 4,199,204, and now
It's
it's
about a $5,000. It's
$4,194,928.
$5,000. It's not a lot.
Right.
But it changed.
Tuition is different also. Tuition was $339,765, and now it's $355,399. So that's different.
Yeah, tuition might have changed. I think I know how tuition changes because they got there was an extra student coming in that wasn't planned, and they kind of accepted last minute for next year.
And those they're charged $15,000 a head, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so from Columbia student,
So from
somebody
Columbia,
who was
so that lowers our percentage.
that lowers the total number and our fact, but that shouldn't count for 5,000 because we're not a
We're not a
third of
third.
that 15. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure of all of that. But I think part of what happened with the levy is that, the money that's in that account is in an interest bearing
Yes,
Yeah.
account.
that was
So
why
the
this
interest,
changed.
right.
Because I know the Board of Finance Chair in Hebron asked that question very pointedly. What about interest?
Yeah. Yeah. The funny thing about interest, though, of course, is, the towns are paying it. If we give it back to the towns are still,
Yeah.
the only source of, of income really for this is the town. So it's a funny thing.
It was sitting in an account. I don't know what account earns for interest. I know if it was in our general fund, it'd be in the stiff account. So
Yeah, we have a stiff account too, and I don't know exactly which funds are in the stiff account. What's in there, but I'm guessing that's why we have interest is going through that. But the money you make on the stiff account isn't,
it's better. It's
it's
better than
not.
it was.
Better
Better than
than
it
it was.
was.
Yeah, exactly. It's not nothing. It's certainly better than nothing, but it's not going to make or break anything.
Right.
But yeah, I actually 5,000. I don't know. And tuition increase would help reduce our levy by a little bit, but not by that much for one student, unless there were two. If there were two, that would be about right. But I know about one. Maybe there's been a second one.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So again, Scott, this number here, these have to be carried over to the main budget, right?
That's what I was just gonna say. So am I changing Ram's budget even outside of the offset?
Well, I would change the
I mean, you
levy
didn't vote on
figure.
it.
We have to show it in the main budget so that we come up with the right
Well,
number.
I see your point about maybe not changing it until Tuesday.
Yeah,
Change it or Wednesday when we have our next meeting.
right.
We'll change
Right.
it.
If they vote Monday night to agree with this spreadsheet, then we can have Lisa update the charts with that figure, that whopping, $5,000 difference to get the numbers right.
That's
And then we would.
5,000, the whole thing, the whole adjustment, the 255.
Oh yeah, the adjustment as well. But sorry, I'm saying
on the
there's two
main
different
sheet-
things. Yeah.
On the main budget sheet, we have to show this new RAM number.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Lisa. Where would you do? I mean, I'm thinking it goes under revenue or something.
No, you just show what the new RAM budget is.
Well, the new
Well,
RAM budget
again, I
will
don't-
change 5,000. Do you want to keep the budget, the
The
offset
offset,
separate?
the offset's a different thing. I want that on a separate line, is what I'm saying.
If anything,
The-
I don't know if I'd put it up in revenue, but would you put it down here before capital budget on the bottom where it says expenditures on the very bottom? Keep going down. Yeah, see where it says municipal RAM AES, insert a
Mhm.
line number 491, make that an offset line and move everything down one line.
Oops.
Something like that. I mean, it's not up above, but it's in your end net. Yeah,
It has to be a negative, obviously.
right.
Yeah,
Do an
I'll get to that.
offset.
You gotta
I
be
have to get
negative.
the bloody number again because I can't remember. There it is.
But won't that mask the true?
Well, the
If-
whole reason I'm trying to do
because
it on
it's
a
still
separate
showing what
line
the
is to
above is.
avoid doing that.
That's why we're showing the two lines. We're adding that new line, so we show the true number up above.
I guess my question is, but
And I
then
would
it's going to
put-
net.
RAM offset one time offset, because
Mhm.
otherwise people might think it's an annual discount. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
At
doesn't
the date.
doesn't that change the grand total expenditure line though? So it's going to.
It does, and that's why I don't necessarily want it there.
So do
Yeah.
you want it, is that why you want it in the revenue line as a?
Oops. Yeah, I mean, don't you think it's revenue? Am I crazy for thinking it's revenue?
No, of course, I don't, I'm not used to the way Andover tracks revenue.
If we took money back from the 2%, I mean not 2%, surplus money from education, in your mind, where would you reflect that, Lisa?
In the general budget, right?
That would be an
reflect that?
that would be an adjustment after the audit is as far as, because that won't be determined till after the audit. So that's kind of like a budget adjustment after the fact is the only way I've seen it with a surplus, so that your starting balance for the next year is less. So it doesn't really affect the year you're in because you don't know it until after you've been audited.
So then it would affect our next year's number, and our next year's number is going to look
In an
lower.
audit, yes.
In an audit, but not here, Liz.
Oh,
Right.
Only in an audit.
Okay, in an audit, yes,
Yeah,
but not necessarily in the budget.
correct.
So can we?
Can you just put it under the shortage overage or something? Add it in there and then have another one?
Okay, people, I just looked it up for AI. Gotta love AI. It says errors and omissions in the town budget are typically managed through a specific overlay account, in parentheses, or overlay reserve, or a general contingency reserve fund. These accounts are designated for extraordinary, unforeseen expenses or inaccuracies in the tax levy, such as tax abatements, exceptions, or errors in tax billing. So would that fall
I don't
into that
really think
category?
that
I'm
quite
thinking
fits.
no.
No?
I don't think
Okay.
that fits.
I mean, it's an idea, but it's kind of like what happened in my previous job, Rob is gonna die. The Board of Finance chair actually made $100,000 mistake in the capital. And I found it, and it was after it was voted on, because it was not my worksheet. And he thought he came in with his home equity book and thought he was gonna have to come up with $100,000. Somehow, the first selectman at the time said, well, we'll do this, this, and this from these other funds, and we'll be okay, we'll be fine. That's the kind of mistake that I'm thinking would apply to what you're talking about,
Okay.
because it's something that's already been voted on, and then
Yep.
we find out that, there was an error in doing the spreadsheet. I don't know if you'd apply this to it or not. I'm not saying you can't.
What if I did it this way?
You have to account for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
What if I
Just
did it
account
this
for
way? There's a line for revenue for RAMI AS. What if we put a line here? So it goes into revenue. I know it's not maybe strictly speaking revenue. I understand why you could have a philosophical thought of, well, it's not really revenue. They're paying us back for a mistake. But from the standpoint of getting things netted out so that we know what we're dealing with. I don't know. Maybe this is the way to do it. I mean, whichever way we do it, wherever we put it, I think it's its own special line. Because it's a one-shot thing. It's its own special line, and at some point, it just has to be taken off the
So
total taxation.
if when we're doing this next year, will the 2026-27 budget request say, like, for expenditures 13.6, or should it 13.6?
It should say 13.688. Yeah, it should be this one up here.
Right.
Because that's the true number.
That's
right.
the number. Right. So it'll still be there. We'll still know
Because
that.
we will still be able to plan based on the real number.
Right.
That's why I don't want to screw with this number.
Yeah.
I want
But
that
we don't
number to be
actually,
right.
and we don't actually plan based on the budgeted amount anyway. We plan based on the actual amount.
Right.
Sure. I like to know both, but you're correct.
Could
It's
it be
good to look
another?
at the actuals.
Could it be another line, like you have a grand total expenditures, grand total revenue, and then a one-time line, RAM offset?
Yeah, you could put it all by its
Like
onesies.
all
I don't
by
have a problem with that
itself,
either.
it's just something one-off.
That would be fine. And I mean, as long as we all agree on it and Lisa's comfortable with it, then I'm okay with that. I don't
I'm fine with that.
I don't have a real strong attachment as long as it's its own thing. So
I
that it's
kind of
not
like
messing
that,
with
actually. I like
You
that
like that?
separate from the revenue. Yeah, make it its own little line section down below, because then you're really separating it and saying this is once.
Art. I know what I did wrong there.
Again, as long as it stays under the RAM heading, that's all that really matters. So we know where it came from.
Right.
And it shows.
Oh no. No. That's wrong, sir.
Control Z, Control Z.
There we go. And then this,
Gotta love Excel.
no, that's wrong. I did that the wrong way. Excel doesn't like it, but it's throwing a little error bar at me, but I think that's actually right.
Yeah, I think that's great.
So
Maybe
this,
underneath
these
that-
are true. So these remain trued up, and then this is its own little thing. I don't know how I feel about exactly how this is
shouldn't we
characterized, but
Shouldn't we do an adjusted grand total revenue after that one-time offset?
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Then we see the actual amount.
And you don't get all those negatives.
Right.
that's what I get. $876. That's right, right? 876.15, whatever. Okay. No, it is there. It's just these numbers are
Doesn't have the pennies.
currency.
Well, it doesn't show, okay, I was gonna say, it doesn't
You
show
gotta round
the
off to
pennies on,
cents. You gotta just.
Yeah, I was just-
It rounds it.
I was just
round it
being a
off.
pain. I was just being a pain. That's probably not worth doing.
It's not worth doing. Yeah, get rid of cents.
you have to go through the whole line.
Yeah.
So that is kind of, yeah, I do think that's how we want to do it. And then on the other chart, which again, I wish this was part of the same chart. This used to all be fed in. The total by taxation figure, you'd have instead of being F11, where's F11 up here? It's just pulling from this. Yeah, that's not quite right. It's equals F11 minus that. Yeah. Yeah. No, this is wrong because it doesn't need to be there. That's duplicating. So that's how you get to 6.76. And again, provisional because I got to double check these numbers up here, but the total raised by taxation figure is just taking that into account because it's up here. It shows you, and it drops the total there. That's my take. Did I hear somebody raise their hand? I don't see anything. All right. Okay, so that I think we're on the same page of how to handle the offset, provided we don't get different information Monday night. Oops. It's a different chart. I have too many charts up, guys. Too many
Yeah, me
charts.
too.
Too many charts. All right. Back to the town budget for a bit. Where were we? We had, let's go back up here. It's all revenue, charges for services. Okay, that's all the revenue lines. So, we talked about these. Do we want to talk about them anymore? I know we've talked about them in prior meetings, but
I thought those were all settled.
yeah, I think kind of asked and answered.
What about the project manager? Does
That is for a particular, I think
project
a road project or
for the road project to the bridge, or
I forget exactly what they said, but it is for a specific project that they plan on using this year. Like in
okay,
past
'cause
years, he's budgeted for it and he's never used it.
he didn't
but,
use it. That's why I was wondering, are we going to use it this year? I know the bridge has started.
I thought
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, I think it's-
Pasola. I thought it was Pasola. They were gonna work on
I
that.
don't,
There's
I don't
work
think
on
it's that.
Batone and there's work on Long Hill, but what I'm saying is I don't think they, even though we budgeted for it the last couple of years, we never used it.
Hmm.
We finished Bunker
It,
Hill without using it, right?
right, but I think it's a different project altogether. I don't think it has to do with the roads. I remember them talking about it, and I remember them saying her name for, I mean, I don't have the minutes in
Hmm.
front of me to, but
Oh,
I
I
know
miss
they
Aaron.
talked about.
Miss
I
Aaron.
would be hesitant to touch that because I remember specifically talking about that because I was always like, yeah, let's get rid of it. But then I felt that they very clearly explained what it was for and who it was going to.
Hmm.
Was there
I
also
just,
concern because you're gonna have a new town administrator? And they thought this would be helpful for this person to try and handle it instead of the new person who was very unfamiliar? Did we,
Yeah.
yeah,
was there discussion about that?
I,
Maybe?
I remember talking that and saying that myself, but I just wasn't, okay.
Okay.
that's all.
Okay. Um, all right. Does anybody else have any brilliant ideas about where you want to go next here? Because I'm not sure.
The AHM, we should kind of figure, because we're doing 4.5%. We need to conclude that, because I don't think you adjusted the budget on
I
that
thought
one.
I did. Hold on.
Okay,
You had sent an email with a figure in it.
yes.
Wasn't this the figure?
4901, you did do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I sent out something that they gave to us, unless they had changed it.
No, no, it's at 4.5%, so that's what, the 4901.
So is this the number you have, Lisa?
I was just looking for their printout. Hold on. That I had sent everybody just to
I want
make
to make
sure.
sure. Did I send Louise's email to you? I usually keep trying to, and every time I get something that suggests there's been a change.
Yep.
Did I send? All right, let's go back and find Louise's email. Nope, that's not it. Oh no, it is.
Yeah,
It was the chain.
All right, so that's the most recent one? Here it is. All right, hold on. Let me see. I've got it,
This
I
is
think.
the email here, March 30th.
Oh, yes, hold on.
And I don't see you on the chain, so it's just a question whether I forwarded this to you.
Because I have from, let's see. You know what? I have the letter that everybody got to that when they were
Yeah.
going to have their meeting.
All right.
And then I have youth and the Youth Services Bureau. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I gotta send you Louise's email then.
well,
Because
let me
all
just
right, so
see.
here's the correct number. You ready?
Wait a minute. Are you talking AHM Youth Services?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this does have it in here. 26, 27 increase, Andover, 112,389.
That's the old one. So they changed a little bit.
Oh, I didn't get
And
that.
I obviously
Okay.
didn't get you the email. I've been trying to get you everything I get in.
Okay.
It's 111,854.
So it went down.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Okay. And when was that dated?
March 30th.
Okay.
Or at least, hang on a minute here.
March 30th,
That's correct.
I believe it was March 30th.
yes.
Okay.
We
It
went
is.
back and forth a couple times that day, and it gets
It's an increase of $4,901.
Right.
Mhm.
from last year, right?
From
It's just a
last year,
reduction
yeah.
from the original increase request.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so that changes our total.
Right. Just tiny bit, but that's the sort of thing that would have possibly driven us nuts.
Okay.
Yeah, Monday, March 30th. That's right.
And we are all okay with that. We're gonna keep it 4.5. We're not gonna discuss that anymore. I just want to make sure I called.
Oh, I see why I couldn't find the original email. Louise had sent it to my personal email, and I had to forward it
Yeah,
to myself. That's why.
yep. Sorry about that.
Okay, that was driving me bonkers. I'm just gonna forward this to you, so you have it, Lisa,
Thank you, thank you.
so you could document it if you have to.
Yes, yeah.
And we're okay with that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Do we need to do a formal vote for that?
No, I
Did
was
we
the
not
representative.
already?
I don't think so. It's just the
No.
actual amount that's being
Okay.
Yeah,
reported to us.
I mean, I don't care if we want to formalize it, but I think
It's fine.
it's okay.
Yeah. It's not us it's not us changing it. It's the actual amount that we're being charged. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think we vote on it.
Yeah, it's more of a charge than a yeah.
Yeah.
You take it or you don't.
I just don't want to have another Board of Finance meeting in the next day.
Agree.
You guys are fun, but
My party hat on. Just so do we want to look at any other expenditures to try and get this budget down, Rob, or where are we all at? Where's everybody feeling right now? This is what we go to the town with? Are we going to try and find some revenue from the general fund or cut any other things? Or are we just all, this is what we're going to the town with?
well, I think we should talk about Andover Elementary School and the recommendation that we made. I think that we should have a conversation about that.
Okay.
We did vote. We voted on the 7.5. I thought that was really fair. We worked hard to make that recommendation. I think it's fair for the community as well. I know it's not easy, but everybody is, struggling with debt, bills, increases. So I would like for us to remain at that 7.5%.
Well, again, that was a recommendation though, Ken. We sent them a
Yeah.
recommendation, actually cut the line because at the beginning, Rob said that we were going to proceed with the understanding the way we've always gone about it, and we had the dueling opinions there going on, so that we were going to send them a recommendation. And my thoughts on that, Kim, were a lot of people are going to be concerned about that number. We're going to get to I mean, we could address it, right? I don't think we have the legal authority, but when we're going to get to the public meeting on Thursday next week, people can make recommendations and we can have a vote at that meeting and get the voice of the people right then and there.
Actually, at the last meeting, Bill, I had asked that question. If we can make a motion to reduce it, and we were told that after the hearing, we could do it as a motion from the board.
After the
By
hearing, after
Attorney O'Brien.
after
Yes.
the town meeting you're talking about.
No,
No,
the hearing, which we just had.
Dennis O'Brien's position is and has been that we could theoretically do it now. I mean, and I've voiced what I thought about it. I don't know what else to say. I have my take on it. I think it should go before the town. It does go to referendum, and then the townsfolk get their say at that point. And if it comes back to us, then we cut it. That's my take. I understand that different people have different take. That's my understanding of how it should work. It's what we did last year. That's how I would do it. I'm not
My-
going to tell anybody what they,
And-
can motion or not motion, but
So, let me ask a question, Kim, according to O'Brien's opinion, can someone at the town meeting make a recommendation and can it be changed at the town meeting or not? Or does it have to go to the referendum, get bifurcated, and then it comes back to the Board of Finance and we can reduce it at that point? Or can someone make a motion at the town meeting
Yes,
to lower it?
yes. And it
Yes,
has,
they can.
that's been done in the past several times.
So my
But
my suggestion would be that we let the people speak and go with the people at the town meeting. And that way there we're not going against this lawyer, against that lawyer, these dueling opinions. It's legal beagle all the way down the line. The people get to speak, and that's kind of where it gets left. That's what I would think, but
yeah, I
obviously-
mean,
Can I-
Now, my opinion would be to follow what our town attorney had said. And
I was just gonna say that
That's-
too.
yeah, and do the motion now at this point and have the town agree or not agree at that point at the meeting next week.
Well, we
Agree.
can't, because they can't increase at the town meeting. They can only
That's
decrease
correct.
Yeah.
at the town
They
meeting.
can only decrease it at town
So
meeting.
I don't
But
think
they
it's
can-
fair to.
But they
do that
can
now.
vote it down.
well,
They
I
can
think
vote it
actually the
at
charter change
referendum.
provision, they can talk about it, but it's going to go to referendum one way or the other, I think
Exactly.
is actually
A
the way it
referendum.
works.
That's right.
Liz-
And vote it down, then we go back to the drawing board.
Liz, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to, I agree, we made the recommendation. I think it was more fair than my initial recommendation. And I think we have a town attorney and the town attorney represents us. And I respect the opinion of the town attorney that respects us. And he specifically spoke to 802F,
F.
which was not considered in his prior opinion. And in this opinion, it states after the hearing, the Board of Finance may review the budget requests with the head of each department, agency, and commission, including the local Board of Education. Subsequent to such hearing and review, the Board of Finance shall prepare a final budget that incorporates any recommended changes. And we made the recommendation. I respect what he says. He's our town attorney. He represents us. And the other thing I'll say is from a historical, just a little historical information for anybody who's hasn't been on. I mean, there's compelling arguments to increase the budget. I've heard them, and I've heard the compelling arguments. But going back to the 2023-2024 year-end budget, there was a surplus of 11.76%. A good chunk of that was put aside for the bathroom project. So AES hasn't lost anything by rights, we could have taken that money and put it back into the general fund, but we didn't. We know they have expenditures coming up. We know they have a big project coming up. So the board voted to earmark that money. So that was a significant surplus. If you prepare a budget like we're doing with Lisa, based on actuals with previous, looking at actuals from previous budgets, you would look and you would see where, okay, well, we didn't need so much here, we needed more here, whatever, you kind of move forward that way. And the other point I'll make is even last year's budget, there was only a 3.2% surplus. However, prior to the end of the year, they had $249,000 in under budgeted areas where they were able to transfer to under budgeted areas. And 126,000 of that was from salaries and 2 salaries and I forget what the other one was off the top of my head. A teacher salary, a custodial salary, and nurse's salary, I think. So my concern is when we're creating a budget based on what was just budgeted last year, you're not really taking into account the actuals. So because of that, I would agree with going with the amount that we had recommended. To them. That's how I feel.
And I'm just gonna say I think we should put it to the people of the town, but Rob, I think I guess you'll either call for a motion.
Yeah, I mean, my take here is I don't feel like I'm going to repeat myself. So, if somebody wants to make a motion, we'll entertain that motion.
Make a motion that we move the school budget forward to the town budget meeting at the 7.5 that we had agreed on.
I'll second that.
That was Louise second.
Yep.
Louise second. Liz motions. Louise seconds. Hang on 1 second here. So we've talked about, do we have any, further commentary that people would like to make before we go ahead and take a vote on this? Because I mean, you know what my position is. Bill's got to say. Heather, I don't know if you want to say anything or if we just want to vote.
I guess I would say I agree with Liz on some things, that the budget does seem high and we should look at their actual, but the dueling lawyer situation concerns me. There's just opinions of two people and we don't actually know which one is correct unless it went to like court or something, I think. So I don't know. I just wanted to say
that's my concern as well.
Yeah.
Because conceptually, I honestly don't. If it anyway, I've already said it over and over, so I'm not going to do it again. So why don't we go ahead and vote on this? I'm just going to go around by who's on the screen. So Bill, you're up first.
No.
I'm up next. No. Heather.
I'm going to go no.
Liz.
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
Louise.
Yes.
Yes, and we didn't have Nick, so it's a 3-3. Motion fails. 3-3. It's a tie.
We could always address it again if we needed to next Wednesday. Would have Nick, and that would give one more chance for everybody to be heard at least before we go to the referendum or to the meeting. And then again, the people who have the chance to speak at the meeting too. So as far as Liz and Kimberly and Louise, I don't think, what you're saying, I don't think it's dead in the water is what I'm trying to say. We could address it again with Nick and we can address it at the town meeting. I don't think it's,
I just feel that I think at the town meeting, it's so high that people, it's not gonna pass. And I'm just trying.
It will pass at the town meeting. It'll pass at the town meeting.
The thing is the way the charter revision works is, people get to have their say at the town meeting, but I think it goes to referendum after town meeting regardless.
Yeah.
It used to be town meeting could reject it, kick it back to us. It's now they can make a motion like Liz's motion tonight, right? That could be made at town meeting.
Yeah.
If it passes, and if it passes, that's in. right?
Goes to
Yeah.
the, goes to the.
And then it goes to
the
referendum
vote.
at 7.5, for instance. Like that
Right.
would happen.
Yep.
If you had the votes. So, and then it goes to referendum, and then, I mean, I'm not going to make any grand predictions, but I would be completely unsurprised if it then came back to us,
Yeah.
which is exactly what happened last year.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
I-
what
Town
happened.
meeting.
That's
I
why I
just-
don't think
I
it's a
figured-
dead issue. That's
I
why I
figured-
think it's fair.
Yeah.
It's not
I-
a dead issue.
Louise,
Yeah, I
sorry.
figured that. Yeah, I figured that it would save the town so much more money by doing something now, because it most likely the referendum is going to come back failed, and then we'll have to pay all that extra money to redo it. Because eventually, I think we're going to have to redo something.
Every time we go back to the drawing board, yes, it costs money in the
Yeah,
the election people.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why I figured now is a good time to do something which is fair. That was my take on it.
Understood.
Okay.
The other thing that would, if it does come back to us, that I think we would have to revisit is fund balance. We made a choice, and I happen to agree with it, that if we're going to take this forward, we're not going to take from fund balance and make it look prettier to try to get it through. Last year, however, but by the end, we did use fund balance. We put $190,000 in fund balance toward the budget last year. So if it comes back and we're trying to get a budget passed, that's another place we could look. We talked about it before. I'm not making a motion or anything like that because there was, I think, broad sentiment on the board that we didn't want to go there right now, and I'm fine with that.
So Rob, I
Yeah,
have a question, Rob.
Yeah.
Based on what we're supposed to be presenting, what would the mill rate be?
Based on what we have now,
Yes.
With the
Well,
RAM change.
pretty sure it's what. Oh yeah, I have to redo the calculation a little bit. It's still it would be a split mill rate. It would be a split mill rate. Let's see.
I'm sorry, but did you all decide that? So you're deciding the RAM, the little $5,000 change we're putting in there, correct, up top? In that figure, the bottom is where we're gonna do the offset, but in the top, we're gonna put their new figure in there?
That's where it has to go. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
the actual
Okay.
amount we're being charged
Yeah.
this year. It has nothing to
Okay.
do with the mistake.
Yeah, I know, it just changed, that's all, from what
Right.
was in the mill
So
rate.
that's the number that
before.
has to go in the top.
So if I've got my numbers right, and I would still want to have Lisa double check this when she has time, based on the changes we talked about, little tweaks here or there, the RAM thing, the combined mill rate would be 33.4, which is above the auto cap. So you then disaggregate. Let's see, do I have this formula propagating? I think I do. So if I'm right, $33.52. Hold on. Would be where I want to look at what I had in my presentation. So it shouldn't match that now. It should be off. 33.53 versus 33.52. That sounds about right. So you would have a 32.46 for auto and a 33.52 for real estate, personal property, if I've got the spreadsheet working properly and I've done my math right.
So what's the mill rate increase?
So the mill rate last year on this chart was 31.59. The mill rate increase, which again, I mean, in and of itself, it doesn't really mean much of anything. So it's 5.72% by mills, but that's before you split it off. So it gets a little complicated with that. But the mill rate last year was 31.59. So you're going up a little under 2 mills, and then you're triggering that split.
So what are we going to explain to the public? What are we going to, because people are going to ask, what's the mill rate based on that?
Right. Well, I mean, that's one thing I had broken down in the presentation. I mean, we can make sure that we're comfortable with that it's clear enough.
Yeah.
But I did have that in there with an
Okay.
explanation that, look, the legislature capped the auto mill rate at this. So what you have to do is you have to look at the grand list. You have to take the total motor vehicle. You have to multiply it by that cap.
Mhm.
And then take the total raise taxation number, subtract the capped auto number, and then the rest is what you have to raise via your house taxes, personal property, real estate. And so you calculate the mill rate on that, and you get your second mill rate, which is why in the presentation there were two mill
Right.
rates.
Mhm.
I
Rob, you know what
honestly
I
think
would like?
that's the easy part.
Yeah. Hey, Rob,
Yeah.
you know what I would like to do is I'd like to add another slide.
Okay.
And you and I could maybe work on it together.
Sure.
I'd like to take like a couple average houses, like if your house is worth 400,000, if your house is worth 300 or 200, and do the calculation so people can
Yep.
see what this is going to translate to.
Yeah, I remember doing
Um,
that a little while back. It wasn't this was before the whole split mill rate thing was pointed out to me, but I had done it for
yeah.
my own taxes. So I knew, I
Yes.
was like, this will cost me about $700. That was back before the
Yeah.
RAM offset. It was back before the split. Of course, I have an old cheap car, so it'll affect me a little differently. Um,
Yeah.
you know, yes, I don't have any problem with doing that. I think in the past, Mark, I don't know if he did it last year, but it was in there years ago. I
I
remember
remember
we used
Yeah.
to have if your house is
It
valued at
wasn't last.
200,000 for tax purposes, this is what the mill rate would do.
Yeah. Okay. So we
The-
can
Once,
work
I
on
feel
that.
like that's like the icing on the cake. Once we have, we're like sure about our numbers.
It
Once
puts
we've
things
gone
in
through
real numbers
everything
for the
again
people
and
to vote on.
again, I feel like Lisa's had some time to verify.
Yeah, next year.
Okay. Well,
Yes, I do want to verify
you're
it. You're
killing
right.
me.
There's a lot of things going on here. There's a lot of things going on.
I completely understand that. We got
On
to
this
find out what comes
spreadsheet,
out
not
of
even
Monday
in the
night's
office, on
meeting.
the spreadsheet.
We got to find out what happens at the RAM meeting Monday night,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And go from there and get our spreadsheets in a row and make sure we're like, okay, everybody. I mean, as Liz and I talked about before this meeting, she likes to go through spreadsheets and make sure they're right, which is a good talent to have, a good hobby right now. So we need to do that.
So Rob, I just want to agree with Liz. It does put things in real numbers for homeowners that are voting.
Yeah.
It puts things in context. You can talk about mills that don't really tell you anything. A mill doesn't
it
tell you
doesn't.
anything. You have an evaluation next year.
No, because
And
yeah,
so it doesn't
it
really
only
tell you
matters if you
anything.
know the
The
valuation.
point is that what Liz is proposing lets people see in real dollars how it affects them. So I think that's a good chart to work on.
Mm-hmm. I
Give
have
people
no
a real
problem with
fair look at what's going to happen, whatever they're voting on. It gives them a fair look at it. So it's a good chart to
Yeah.
have.
No, I really do agree with that. That's completely understandable. I had gone in to remind myself of what my taxes even were. In fact, the quarterlies are due this month. I got to go in there and write a check. So, I happened to know what mine were, and I was when we had an earlier iteration of this budget where we were looking at that 9%, 9.6% increase. I did quick math, not the math we need to do to make that slide actually work. And I remember it being about $700 on the year. But that was just for me.
So, yeah. So I was kind of hoping we could like finish up all the nitty gritty, all the numbers and all this stuff tonight. I was hoping we wouldn't
Yeah.
have to have our meeting next Wednesday. Do you think that that's
The
possible?
only hesitation I now have, Liz, is
The RAM
the
meeting
RAM
on
Monday night thing. Could we make it?
So,
Can we make it a
so
short
the
meeting?
RAM, so if the numbers don't change, if they're just giving us information and the numbers at RAM don't change, do we really need to meet again? And if the numbers do change again, do we really need to meet again? We just change the
Yeah.
numbers right? Do
The
we just
thing
change
is,
the numbers?
I'm trying to remember now. Don't we have 48 hours to cancel? Like, can we cancel if we wait till that meeting's over? Are we out of
We
time to
could.
cancel it?
I mean, that's Wednesday. I don't know. I don't
The
know what the
other
rule is
option is
about
we
this.
could all log in and say meeting adjourned.
Right.
Well, again, we can make it a short meeting, right? We don't,
Yeah, that's true.
we could just make it a short meeting and say we all
Yeah,
agree.
we're not necessarily signing on for 2 hours. If we're comfortable that we've done everything we can do at this point, and we looked at we went line by line. We've looked at capital, unless we want to revisit capital now, which I'm happy to do if people want to do it. I don't know what I would do there
Me
to
either.
find money.
I think we've been pretty tough with the town,
I happen to agree. The town
just like
is, I
last
mean,
year.
the only flip side, the town is up. The operating budget's up 6. The capital's down 3. And it nets out, well, whatever it was like that 4% number. So it's not nothing, but at the same time, I do think we've at least asked and answered a lot of the questions. We went through the lines that we highlighted and at least discussed it and did what we could with it.
Could be one more
Yeah.
opportunity for the whole board to look at the presentation together and just,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a
Liz,
very short meeting,
yeah.
just to get
I-
everybody get one last look at the presentation and
My goal is to work with Liz between now and that meeting, get the two of us happy with it, and hopefully circulate it in advance. Does that work?
yeah.
Yep.
And you all can chime in and say, I don't really get slide 12, and we can talk about it. If there's significant discussion to be had, then it's a good thing we have that meeting to do it. But otherwise, I would hope it to be a very quick meeting. If we're basically out of ideas right now until we get the town to have a shot at this thing, then it doesn't have to be a long meeting at all. But no, Liz and I were talking about this. I mean, that presentation does still need some more work, to make it really finalized. And I'm happy to have her help and, try and get it where it needs to be. I agree with the extra slide idea. I think we can make that happen over the weekend into next week.
And then again, like I said, it will confirm the RAM numbers and then have a
Yeah.
short meeting on Wednesday night just to all be on one page and move forward.
So Lisa, can I ask you a question about our spreadsheets? Like the proper here, I've got my spreadsheets up, but like these are mine and I've been monkeying around with them. So I really want
I was just gonna ask you what your final figure is that you have, because we made 2 changes tonight, I believe. So I just wanted to make sure total expenditure.
which which lines do you want totals for?
Grand total
Bottom line.
expenditure?
What I have for grand total expenditure, remember we put the offset below this,
Yes.
is 13,688,592.
Okay, that's not what I have.
What do you
Because
got?
I put in the new RAM figure and that's off.
$5,000.
Yes, that's less 5,000.
Oh, hold on. That might be my mistake because I had
Okay.
it on one chart, but not the other. Hold up.
Okay.
The two charts don't talk to each other. So,
Yep.
where's RAM? There it is. Education RAM. You got it. Okay, what's the RAM number again? The new one?
4258178. Is that what I have? Let me go back
Yeah,
up to
thank
the
you.
top. Yep.
Okay, and
And then
now
we made the change for AHM.
that one was already, I think, on my chart, but I'm going to double check it again because I'm going to be
Okay.
scrolling right past it.
Because I
Yes,
didn't have that
for
change.
111.
Yep,
Came
it
down
should be
a little.
111,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera.
So now what's your total expenditure?
111,854. My total expenditure number now is 13,684,316.
Correct. Okay.
Boom. 6.08%.
Yes.
Huzzah!
Okay. Now, as far as the mill rate, I'm not giving you anything tonight because I really
That's-
need to dig deep into that one and make sure it's right.
Good.
It's like, especially because you've got the 2 different figures.
Yep.
And we have changed some figures. So I really want, in that taxable amount, I want to make sure that's correct. So
Oh,
what you're saying
absolutely.
too, with that taxable amount, you're saying take off the offset, correct?
The total raised by taxation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right kind of right before the end is where we want to take off the 258, etc.
Okay. But as
From
far as
RAM.
in the mill rate sheet, you want that off of there, off of the mill rate sheet also.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
so hang on a second. Hang on 1 second. So, my mail rate sheet's gotten a little busy here, as you can see, but then I've done some weird things down here by mistake, but formatting wise. But we have this total by taxation number. I have it pulling the RAM levy offset number off to get down. Wait a minute.
Okay.
This seems off now. Hang on. Something went wrong here. Something went wrong here. This number's correct. Total raised by taxation. This number, where is this pulling from? There's no formula in this. So shouldn't
number?
this number here, total raised by taxes, be this minus this? The abatements, this is a negative number, right?
Yes,
That.
correct.
So it's like plus this. So if that's the number, equals F11, yup, minus G28, yup. And that's how you get to 6.76. Huzzah. Okay, that actually, I think this checks out. This is what I have. So this is the with RAM levy offset total raised by
Oh.
taxation number down here.
Let's look back at that total though.
Which total? Up
We
here?
just said this total is 13,684,316.
Sorry, let's do it right. 13,
Yeah, 684,
684,
316.
316. Enter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. 6.72. Okay. The estimated revenue hasn't changed. Fund balance is still 0. Abatement hasn't changed, right? So this should be a pretty simple calculation of these three numbers, right? So hopefully that's correct. Total raised by taxes.
And our revenue didn't change at all? Is that correct? Just double checking.
Well, I don't think, I
Okay,
mean,
it's all-
because we didn't
no.
put the RAM thing in the revenue, so we left that alone, right?
Okay, yeah,
We put that down here.
okay,
I don't know what else would change revenue at this point.
okay. Yeah, we
Unless
haven't
you-
touched it in a long time. I was just double checking.
Right. Right. So these numbers are hopefully, wasn't this was one we were talking about, Liz, where a little unclear of whether this is 498 or 499. We were
It's
looking
four
at
ninety nine. It's the
499.
499. Yeah, it is the 499 number.
It's because this, it's not because this number's off. It's because this one might be off by like $2,000 or something like that.
Yes, the
That we
4
talked about.
million. Yeah, the 4,562,000 and the 4,046,000 from the previous years. Those totals are incorrect. And so if you do the math, this difference doesn't add up correctly.
Right. But this
But
number is
if you-
accurate. So there is
That-
that. This
that-
is just
that
this
number
is
is
how
ac-
you, yeah.
The difference is wrong. The difference is correct on the AES budget. It's 499,991.40. It's just that the math doesn't work if you try to use the calculation.
Okay. But that's not making this wrong. That's making this a little bit off. I mean, this isn't even out to the number of decimal places where it would show up probably.
So it's 499,991. Is that what you put there? 499,991. Yeah, that's the correct number.
Yeah.
That is the
I put it
correct number.
here. I
That's
haven't changed it here yet, but the answer, the reason this is off is that this number here, fiscal year 25-26, is apparently slightly off.
yeah, it's $2,010 off from the total. If you add up all the numbers of the budget that year,
Mhm.
it's 2010 off.
Some kind of error was in the spreadsheet. Okay. So, yeah. So, Lisa,
Well, the
how do
only
we-
thing, wait a minute, go back down to the town budget. Are we sure that's the total for the town budget?
No, hang on. Let me double check that too. Hang
Okay.
on. I don't know if I'm using this in. All right, hang on. Back to the other chart. Municipal budget. Is that what that line's supposed to be?
Yeah, it's capital and
Oh, okay.
municipal, right?
Right. So what
Hold
do we
on.
have?
Yeah. So it should be,
4,362,487.
and I have 4,363,022. Could that possibly be that 5,000 again? I don't know. Let me
What
just,
five? Okay, let's look at this. The RAM AAS budget numbers is coming from I-46. All right.
yeah, those are fine. I get those, but it's the town total,
The town
which
total.
includes down here, it includes capital. So
Right,
you'd
it
have to
does.
take,
So,
I don't have, yeah, that for a municipal budget. I have 3,364,272. Isn't that what I have? Let's see. 3, no, what have you got? No, yours is right. Okay, hold on.
okay.
Because we made that change down in the total before I did this, added these two together. All right, hold on. So let's go in and do a equals.
3. All right, mine match. If I'm right on one chart, I'm right on the other.
Yes, now it's correct. Now
Okay.
and is that
I just
total
have a
correct? Is your
terrible
total-
formatting.
But your total isn't correct, is it?
Which this
Or
here?
maybe my total's not correct now
My,
that we did
my
that
total
change.
matches my other chart. So if I go here
Yeah.
and I tally, and I tally this and this, the town municipal budget and the capital budget, right?
Yep.
Just 489 plus 491. I get that. I just typed it in so I could copy it. So this is the number I get. So which one of our, so if you're not getting that number, then one of these has to be off
All
somewhere
right,
in your chart.
let me check something though.
Okay.
So Rob, did you say last year that the mill rate calculation was like connected to this budget, so it just fed?
Yeah, the mill rate chart was part of this. This chart used to have like a bunch more tabs.
So after this is all over, can we work on making this easier?
I would like once we get through this, I'm extending. I understand what Lisa's dealing with, but going forward in future, yes,
It's been a lovely time,
I would
gang,
like
a
my
lovely
chart back
time.
together.
Hold on.
Yes. Yeah, it's really nice when all the tabs funnel into the main
And the
budget.
formulas feed so that if you make a change,
Yes.
and
Yes,
if
it
memory serves, the other
transfers
thing
in.
that used to be in here was a whole bunch of detailed subsheets from the various departments.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I
But-
know we have the old ones. This got built from scratch almost, I think, this year.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah,
won't
it
opine
did.
as to why that happened, but there were old charts that, I think I sent you some, like, this is how we used to do it and how we kind of like it. And I'm open to changes, but yeah, that one, getting the taxation chart back on the in the spreadsheet, in the budget spreadsheet would be great at some point.
Can you
I
go
am
back
not-
to your mill rate
Yeah,
sheet, Rob?
Yeah.
I think I'm, let's see. No, I still don't have what you have. Hold on. 5063, 4258, 4362, 487. I'm still getting 506, 4258, and 436.
we're off on this line,
We're off on the total Andover budget. That down there
the
I have is
31
that,
line.
yeah,
All
that
right.
13,684, 316. Isn't that what we said it was? Yeah.
Back to the
Your
other chart.
total Andover budget is off. That's right. That's correct. It's in your mill rate. that it's wrong.
13,684, 316.
That's correct. Go to your mill rate though. And that's not what you're getting down here, down below. Right there. That's not what you have there.
All right, hang on. Let me
Yeah.
get it right.
Yeah.
13,684, 316, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, come on. I'll just type it. 13,684, 316.
316. Yeah. There you go. There. And now my other numbers are okay. All right. All right. The only other thing that I kind of don't like me, I just sat here and I do numbers. I added the RAM, the Andover Elementary, the RAM. And then there's all that calculation and no one knows whether or not they're adding the 4258 or the 399 because really that's not in that figure of 43. I don't know. It just gets, I don't know if we should almost, and I can do it at another point. I don't want to hold
Well,
everybody up,
this
but I still
this
think we
chart,
might want to put it separate below because I think that's going to confuse people with it in there like that. Because
okay,
the figure you're really using, you want your expenditures to stay true. So you don't want to introduce that 258 negative until underneath.
that's
Because
fine by
otherwise they're
me.
going to go, wait a minute, that doesn't add up, right?
I am happy to move this, Lisa. I'll take any
Yeah.
advice you want to have on that. That's totally fine. I
Yep.
wanted to make sure it netted out properly, so this number was right.
Yep. Yep.
But no, that's fine. If this goes here instead, I'm okay with that.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, that's what I think, because we kind of did that with the total page on the book too. So
But then do we put the total?
no, you put it above the fund, you skip a line, you put it above the fund balance. So you don't bring in that fund balance
You
until,
put it in here.
yeah,
You put it in
yes.
here.
Insert a line there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm open to that.
Yeah.
Did you have this? You have your version of this chart.
Yes. Yep.
The only difference is, I was screwing around with mill rate calculations over here. You don't necessarily need that. I want you to reproduce it anyway. So you've got your chart. Your chart is the gospel, right? Mine is me doing my best, but I want you to be you are the keeper of the real one.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we were the same. Okay.
No, I appreciate
now,
that.
Now we're different. Yeah. Okay. Now we're the same. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, all right, in terms of process, Liz and I will work on the presentation. Lisa, to the extent she's able, can work on double check and format
Yep.
the charts
Yep.
to be right and as best practice. Guys, unless anybody else disagrees, I'm fine with moving the RAM levy offset stuff down here. That's fine by me. However, is the cleanest way. I don't want to confuse people. I want people to understand what we're doing.
Yeah.
Liz and I work on the presentation. Those of us who can, everybody who can manage it, who can show up Monday night to that RAM meeting.
Is that posted on our website under the same calendar, the RAM meeting?
I don't know. I think that email just came out today.
I know, but it will be posted on our. Does anybody know? Does that get posted on?
That's a darn good
website?
question. Hang on, let me stop sharing.
So we get the linkage and all that, or
let me.
The link is in the email.
In the email from Colin, which I forwarded you guys, but I'm just looking at who he sent this to. He sent it to me, Jeff McGuire, and kind of our colleagues around the towns. He sent it to Val, and I assume all the people down here are, the school supers and what have you. What I don't see is like this isn't. Kate doesn't have this yet. I don't know. I mean, it's not our meeting, but I could forward it to her and say, "Hey, is there any way we could display this somewhere on the?" You know what the real problem is? Whether she'll have time to do it between now and Monday night. But I'll send it on and see what she says. Does that work? Anybody got a thought on that?
Works.
Are you sending this? I'm just thinking. I thought when you post for the town meeting, you have those figures and you can't change them till after the town meeting. That's maybe it's a different charter. I don't know, but you have these figures that we're changing. I'm just kind of worried, but
we haven't gone to town meeting yet,
right?
So
when you post, okay, maybe I'm thinking referendum. I
Yeah,
don't know, but
I
isn't
think
there a certain time you have to have those
I
figures
think we're okay to
intact
tweak
and don't
them
change
right up
them?
until town meeting. I mean,
Okay,
we've caught errors the day of.
okay.
Yeah.
That's my take. All
Take
right.
good notes Monday night because I will have 5 grandchildren with me and I don't think I'll be, I don't think I'll get much if I sign on.
I
So
suspect you won't.
two of them 2-year-old twins, so I will have them until 9 o'clock. So
Rob, do we want to move to our public speaker?
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I can do the email to Kate later. If I just want to make sure nobody on the board has any further thoughts, discussion, anything else they want to bring up before we go to public speak. Yeah.
I'm good.
All right. I'll go around. Let's see, Scott.
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the hard work.
Joanne.
Hey, thank you. I guess I thought I was going to see a little more work happening. I understand, I just think I'm worried about this budget just because of this budget going to town meeting. If it passes there, I mean, and there's no real vote, like I said, like
Right,
I'm
it goes
kind
to
of in
referendum.
agreement with Liz. I think that there probably won't be cuts there. I mean, people do make motions and things of that nature. Then it'll go to referendum. This very well could be the budget you all are given to the town this year, because, and if it passes, it passes. I just thought you were going to look at it a little tighter tonight all around. I understand that you were waiting to maybe cut the Board of Ed or certain members of you, because I've been watching and I know what everybody's thinking and kind of how, I've gotten to know you through the years. Um, I just thought a little more close observation was going to be taken at maybe some of the capital funds this year, or maybe, just tightening up a couple things. That's all. I mean, it is what it is. And it's going to town meeting unless you do make some changes. But I was kind of on the line what Bill was saying. I wish it could have gotten down to 1 mill rate. It's just the biggest increase I've ever seen. So again, I know you're all working hard and everybody has their own idea of where they want to see cuts. So I 100% respect that. I've told you all that I thought everything could be tweaked a little bit. And I supported all of you. So I just thought a little more was going to come off, but it is what it is. And we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne. Marcy.
Yeah, I appreciate all the work you guys are doing. The only thing that I wanted to say was um, something that nobody's ever mentioned about the problem with the RAM and what they're going to do with all that. Uh, I wonder if there's people that may have been living in town for like 4 or 5 years and have moved out, and wouldn't they want a refund? So that's what goes through my mind is, if we've been overcharged all these years, and yeah, sure, come off next budget, but what about those kinds of situations? So anyway, I know it's not your decision, but I mean, it's a thought. So thanks.
Thanks, Marcy. Valerie.
Hi, thanks. Can you hear me?
Can.
Okay. So I just wanted to comment on a couple of things. We had a conversation by a couple of board members on surpluses and actuals. And obviously I represent the school side. So the thing is about the surpluses, there's a lot of talk from a few members of the Board of Finance on the year that we had a large surplus. And although the Board of Ed could have done something with that prior to the end of the fiscal year, we met with you guys and said, let's be responsible with the taxpayer dollar and put it aside for something in the future that would defray the cost to the taxpayer. But the town side has also had surpluses over the years. And I just don't want there to be a double standard when we're talking about surpluses, Because if you made a chart, you would see that there are surpluses on both of those budgets year after year. And so I think that that's something that if we are going to have that conversation, it does have to not be a double standard, and we have to make sure that we look at both. As far as the actuals go, that isn't a way for the school to budget. I'll give you a quick example and then I'll explain what I mean. If every week a family has $50 in their grocery bill for diapers, it's $50, it's $50, it's $50. And then one week they go to the store and it's $30 because they're on sale. The following week, you don't budget based on the actual from the week before, which was $30. You budget based on $50 because it was an oddity that you had $30 the week before. And so when we're looking at actuals, we have to take two things into consideration. That is, was there an oddity that occurred to cause that actual not to be as high as it was the year before? But we also have grants that come in. So $100,000 that might have been reduced in a salary wasn't necessarily not an actual. It was placed in a grant revenue. And therefore, our actuals were, in fact, the right amount. It's just not offset in the general fund. And you did a lot of work. I've watched your budget meetings. You've done a lot of work with looking at the town side. But there were times too there where the actuals from 2 years earlier were much lower than what was being put in this year's budget. And you had to talk through the why and say, well, sure, it was only $5,000 for 2 years, but we're putting $10,000 in now, but here's why. And we have that as well. So that is all I would like people to realize is when talking about surpluses, there have been surpluses on both sides before. And when looking at actuals, the general fund actuals don't necessarily reflect all of the expenditures that we had. So thank you, and thank you for your time.
All right. Did I miss anyone of the public? I don't think I did, but speak up now if I did. Anybody? Anybody? All right, I think we have our game plan for what it's worth. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Bill, Johnny on the spot. Do we have a second?
Louise, I think, raised her hand.
Louise is raising her hand. She's just muted.
Okay.
All right, we'll count that though, Louise. I saw your hand. All right, all in favor? Bill?
Aye.
Me? Aye. Louise?
Aye.
Liz?
Yes, I.
Heather?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
That's 6-0. And we, of course, are missing Nick, so that's all we've got. All right, everybody. I'm going to end the meeting. We're going to kill the recording here. Stop recording.